I boil your head and serve it with mashed potatoes.
Welcome to yet another behind the scenes, lifting the curtain and shining the piercing flashlight of truth on some pre-released Dirty Bomb goodness, where we only just got used to our new pet turtle, when another brand new merc walks through the door. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Norway's latest export, it's Javelin.
Adios, idiot person.
This lady is most definitely used to the battlefield. Not only does she have a rocket launcher, but she also brings a brand new primary and melee weapon into the mix. That new primary, the SHAR-C, or I guess SHAR-C, is the first new primary since Thunder all that time ago. It's a slower firing AR with a fair bit of kick. So think of it like an assault rifle version of the Blishlock, and you're part of the way there. It can pack a hefty punch, super accurate if you tap fire. That new melee weapon, the first since the literal dawn of time, I think it was Red Eye with the Kukri, is a really quite wonderful battle axe. This really does feel great to wield around. My impressions from playing the axe is that its stats are probably broadly similar to the cricket bat, certainly not as fast to attack as something like the stiletto knife.
You can rune, but you can't hide.
Although enough with the entrees, the main course, the pickled herring if you will, is the rocket launcher. Anyone who played enemy territory will be getting Panzerfaust flashbacks. Even the spool up time when you fire is the same, so you need to preempt the exact moment you need to let that rocket fly. But we're living in the future now, so things have moved on since those old Wolf E.T. days, though tribute is paid through some really nice voice lines. And this modern rocket launcher has a new feature to really let your airborne munition creative side really express itself. The rocket launcher has two modes. Standard is the straight line sort of dumb mode that you're probably expecting. Guided, the circle mode on the rocket display, allows you to direct the rocket's path around the battlefield. This lets you skirt over shields and bound over buildings in your quest for quite the most outrageous airstrike imaginable. In testing, we even managed to get the rockets to exit through the skylight windows on Underground and then re-enter the map to slam down on unsuspecting targets. I'm looking forward to seeing what creative frag movies the community can make of this new mode. It isn't all memeing though. The default standard mode fires a rocket at a faster pace, so it's more difficult to shoot down. Yes, that's right. The rocket itself has 20 health, so if you're fast you can kill it before it reaches its target and delivers that direct hit, 400 damage payload. What's more, Phantom gets yet another inadvertent buff with his EMP field. He disables the guided nature of the rockets and makes them revert to a standard dumb mode. It's really quite excellent for trolling javelins with. She's an ammo dispensing class too, but this time there's a twist on the normal station and pack system. Javelin has effectively an always-on sphere around her that gives ammo to friendlies, including herself, but with no manual dispensing required. This means free XP and almost never running out of ammo. As for the aesthetics of Javelin, it's obviously a matter of taste, but for me she strikes a confident role in DB. As always for splash damage, her voice lines are judged superbly, and the voice acting really helps solidify her character. There's lots of nice nods to the past, and parodies of traditional FPS tropes. But while we're talking about new content, I think it's worth pointing out and having a quick chat about this new apparent turn of speed in the pace of Dirty Bomb's development. I hope the devs take the opportunity to push out smaller, kind of course corrections for those new features that are added. With the new abilities coming thick and fast, balancing on a regular basis becomes even more important. So if a new feature like Turtle Shield needs a bit of tweaking after people have played with it on live, obviously not on ranked, then things as they are initially released aren't set in stone, and things like community feedback and gathering data can push these weapons and skills into their proper place. So why am I saying this? Well, for me, an example of this would be the new SHAR-C primary. I'd argue that it should be a bit more powerful at projecting damage compared to other faster firing alternatives. So a touch more damage per shot and a small reduction in the fire rate, spread and recoil would be to my tastes. but I can see why how it's currently tuned will be a good starter position for this brand new primary weapon. And so let's turn to Dome. It's been perhaps on the most interesting of paths for all the Dirty Bomb maps. It's always felt pretty sprawling and somehow like it was made for a game mode that didn't quite exist. Something like 10v10 might have helped fill its ample spaces, and yet it was never really going to happen, was it? Well, with this new version of Dome, it feels much closer to the other DB maps. It still has its domey feel and style. The drab, overcast skies of the original are long gone, of course, but this latest version prunes some of the needless, empty flanking areas in favour of something that suits the game much better. That tedious running from spawn is reduced, especially on the first stage, and the contacts with the enemy happen at a cadence more in step with the other DB maps. There are some new additions too. Doorways and openable gates have been added to keep things fresh and create some new angles. Not so much that your old map knowledge is redundant though, just this time the whole flow of playing feels less sterile. I hope people like it more than before. It seemed to be pretty universally avoided when it was voted for the next map in server lobbies, so perhaps this time there's a reason to stay in that lobby and not just quit to play another round of bridge. Dome, with these changes, can be enjoyed as an alternative to those favourite maps. It may be set in the industrial areas outside of the traditional streets of London, but it's not the outcast map it was in the past. I'd love to know what you think of these new additions to DB. How do you feel about yet more content being added to the game so soon after Vault and Turtle? Leave a comment with your thoughts and feelings right now. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, why not tap the old subscribe button? It helps me grow the channel and do more videos like this one. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at LCTRGames. There's a link in the description below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
It does not go like a rocket, because I already have rockets that go like a rocket, because that is what they are.